How you doing, pioneers? This is mjkk613.14. Bye through my eyes. Unofficial. I want to sorry I haven't been around and haven't put out a video for a while. Just had some things come up, some things in personal life, and I burned out in pie a little bit. I'll be right straight up front, man. I burned out in pie. And I think why I burned out is because pie's a passion, and everybody knows that. And I'm always, if somebody's talking about what they think pie is, I'm usually there in the middle of it, kind of keeping the information straight. And been dealing with a couple of the same issues, man, like just beating dead horses. One is mining, and pie running off of Stellar, and there's a couple issues. Just same old. What pie's going to do when it opens, and it's going to go to the exchange, and it's going to be doing all this other stuff. And I think I've come to the realization we're getting short. This is what, 9, we got, 90, 60, October, November, December, so that's 90 days, and 10, so we got about 100 days to go live. That ain't a lot of time, man. Ain't a lot of time for, now, this is my expectation, and my expectation on what I think pie should be is high. Being ready to go to the general public. I have a high expectation. Maybe it's too high. And that probably didn't help either. Because what I'm seeing in pie, as far as an app goes, to be what pie goal is looking to be, I don't think pie's close. I really don't. Because couple of reasons, bunch of reasons. But the biggest one is the community. Us, you, me, you. Those people, pioneers that have argued about non-issues, I think that was the biggest thing. All these issues that have been debated for months, years, are non-issues. They are non-issues as far as pie goes. The discussions, the debates, borderline arguments over pie mining, over protocol that pie's built off of, over, get bombarded with what's pie's value, what's pie's price, what's pie's total supply, what's pie's, okay? And now KYC is another one that they're non-issues, man. They are non-issues. That isn't where our focus, I believe, should be, because it's a waste of time. Okay? Core has already put out, no human legit pie account will be lost or left behind. So we don't need KYC until we get ready to claim our accounts and Core gets ready to honor them. That's when we need KYC. Yes, we are at probably close to 25 million people right now. And a few 100,000 that have KYC, it's a drop in the bucket. But don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Because, Core takes a lot of heat for a lot of no reason. And I'm skeptical. I have concerns. And I have doubts. And I have the same issues that a lot of people have. even more so knowing what I know. I have questions, deep questions, heavy questions, questions that I don't hear coming from the community. Yeah, and it got to a point that I almost left Pi just the other day because of my own reasons. And I want to shout out to the mods and mega mods and all that took the time and whatever, and I'm still here and I'm still more. Thank you guys. Appreciate it from all of you. Yeah. But it comes down to most people, and most people, one, they haven't taken the time to read Pi. Is one of the big issues that I'm really having right now. If you're sharing in chat that it doesn't fit the white paper or come close to what Core has written from the FAQ and the white paper, and haven't taken the time to read the mod FAQ, and you're talking garbage, because anything outside of that is garbage. Anything brought in from the outside is garbage. It has nothing to do with Pi. It didn't come from an official site. I don't even know where it came from. I don't know where people are doing their research or getting their information from. But it's not coming from official sites. It's not official information that you're putting out. And it has no place in Pi. None. There's no reason for it. Okay? None. Man, you can be the greatest programmer, you can be the smartest person out there, you could have made millions of dollars in cryptocurrencies, trading on exchanges, but it has no place in Pi. Yeah. Your experience, all of your experience, doing whatever you're doing outside of Pi, has no place in Pi. It does not pertain to Pi. Yeah. That's, I think, where I was getting to. I mean, it was just, I've been here since June of 2019. And I can't say we are no farther along than what we were in 2019, because we are. But most of this happened behind the scenes, and we, the community, have laid our job on Core. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. We had and have a job to do. As far as how I think we were supposed to go about it, it's too late. It's too late. Yeah. Because the core because of, now this is how I see it and how I think it should have gone, and if it would have gone that way, we would be a lot farther ahead in Pi as far as the economy and setting a value and all of that. Okay? Because when the in-app transfer pilot started, I think it was November, December of 2019, 300 people were chosen for pilots. And those 300 people got the availability or the capability to actually trade Pi, to get a Pi economy going. And because of a couple that couldn't go by an agreement they signed, and they tried to turn Pi into cash, which that was the top deal on the contract they signed, that they would not turn Pi into any fate or any other currency trading on the market today. Well, a couple of people thought they knew better than Core, were smarter than Core, and were going to get around the way pi was written. Yeah. And gift cards are the same as cash. Well, they tried to turn around and get gift cards to turn into cash to send it wherever they were going. Well, and I'm sure there were some other issues going on in the pilot as well. And, I mean, I wasn't involved in it. I just seen it from the outside. Well, when that came up, and the split in, at that time there were basically two economies, and a split in the economies and a split in the thinking. Kind of, I think that all played into what happened from there on out. Because in, I think it was February, Core put out a video update about the in-app transfer pilot. And in the video, they stated that there were issues and they had some issues to deal with and whatever. And they closed the pilot to everybody. Okay. So, nobody outside of the pilots have been let into the in-app transfer. Okay. And because of the split in thinking, philosophy, understanding, knowledge, whatever, there was a definite split. And in that split, also, there's been, between early pioneers, there's been tension, there's been animosity, there's been bad blood, there's been, so that was going on at the same time. And I think it's kind of been worked through, but you can still, it's still there. Okay? But there are unofficial, and the economies that started became unofficial because they're not backed by core team. They're third-party, independent, unofficial sites that are trading using Pi to buy goods and services through the in-app transfer pilots. And the way I believe that the in-app transfer pilot should have went is, as the initial 300 got the economy up and going, moving, got Pi moving, as if everybody would have stayed on the up and up, and see, after those few people tried to sell Pi or turn Pi into cash, the community, even to this day, and it was even worse back then, pioneers coming in, their first priority is turning Pi into other money. You give them the opportunity to actually have Pi, they're going to try to turn it into other money, and we can't. So Core could not take a chance of adding any more pilots or any more pioneers to the in-app transfer. It's been almost 2 years, man. We've lost 2 years of growing Pi economy. Mm-hmm. Because if it would have gone the way I believe it should have went, exchange and dumping when Pi launches wouldn't even be talked about. It wouldn't. Because Pi is built to be the money to be used as the means of exchange to buy goods and services. And because, just my opinion, because the economies that got started, even though they were way off in what their thinking and their beliefs and how the two thought about Pi value and what it should be and all this other stuff. And that divide also played into being able to add anybody else, whatever it is. I mean, there was a few things that did it. But if everybody would have been adults, is what I'm going to say, as adults, and dealt with their job like adults, and responsibility of an adult, we would be a lot farther ahead. Because even though the split in the camps, and there was a third one that kind of stayed under the radar, that has another economy going, and there's a fourth one too out of China that has one going, but I would be careful in China because there's also some other stuff going on over there. I haven't really followed it up, but from what little bit I've gotten, there's a copycat pie going on over there that has value. I mean, they're buying houses and cars and all sorts of stuff with it, with their pie. It's not this project. Okay. And when you see it and hear about it, yes, it all looks identical and it all looks whatever, but it's not this project. Pie, this project, has not gone live yet. It can't list anywhere yet. Okay. Pie is in testnet blockchain. It's not a live blockchain yet. Now, I don't know all the tech, and I keep getting slammed that I don't know all the tech and all that other stuff. Okay? I don't need to know the tech. I need to know how to use what's put in front of me to be able to use Pi. Okay? But not knowing the tech, if an official blockchain needs a Genesis block to start that blockchain, I don't know. I don't think Pi has written the Genesis block for Pi official blockchain. Okay. Now I don't know how many different blockchains are running from Pi and underneath, because I've been hearing a lot of stuff, and I've heard a lot of stuff over time that because I didn't know, and I don't need to know, and I didn't take the time to learn that deep. But what I'm going on is what Core has written. And if Core has changed up what they've written from originally, sorry, I'm going on what I know official information is. I'm going on what I read and how Pi works once it's live from the official paperwork. I don't. And I feel that none of us out here need to second guess what Core's doing. No. I don't care how great of a program you are. I don't care how professional you are, I don't care what your paperwork is. It doesn't matter in Pi. It's Core's project. It's Core's design. It's Core's vision. It's Core's goal. And they've written it. It's in there. But not many that know already, no crypto, no blockchain, no program, no whatever, have taken the time to tear Pi apart, lay it next to some other program, figure out what makes it different, what Core has done to make it Pi, and how Pi functions. We are not live yet. We are still in development. And any programmer worth his salt has written programs from the ground up, from line one. Okay? Well, if you've written programs from line one, and I came to you and I started bitching at you that you should be live, and you're only on line 25, you're going to be, what, I'm not done, I'm not even close, I'm not even halfway. Well, that's what you guys have done to Core. And too blind to see it. Sorry, wake up, guys. Everybody that knows Pi, understands where Pi's at, is working at Pi's level in its development. Anybody that doesn't know Pi and hasn't taken the time to learn Pi is working at I know you guys got pie 5 and 10 years out down the road already, and it hasn't even launched live yet. Pie hasn't even been born. I mean, put it in some sense that you understand it. Pie is still in development. Because we're 25 million people doesn't mean that it's live. We had a job to do. You know, if anybody reads the first paragraph in the FAQ, pie is not free money. Well, if you take it at its value, pie is not free money. Well, if it's not free money, that means we have to work for it. And everybody's going around, well, pie's for free, pie's for free. No, pie's not for free. Most or a lot of people expect it to be free. And it's not. We have to work for it. Yeah. And our job was to build pie economy. Every one of us in here that accepted an invitation code joined pie. That's what you signed on for. And I got people tell me that, no, it's not my job, it's not my job. Yes, it is your job. We were part of pie development, and we dropped the ball, man. Yeah, we dropped the ball hard. And because I'm on the outside, I'll throw myself in there. We dropped the ball hard. Because those that already knew crypto, knew the space, knew program, knew whatever, didn't take the time to learn pie, where we're at, where it's at in development, and how to improve it. You guys wasted your talent when it comes to pie. Yeah. If I have to see or put a call on anything, that was the biggest waste of talent. Good talent. I respect everybody that I've come across, talked with, dealt with, debated with, argued with, whatever. I do respect you guys out there. And I do, to a point, respect you in pie, but not at the level that I should be respecting you at. Okay? Because where I lost respect for you guys, people like that, is because you didn't take the time to learn a new project, a different project. Okay? And there's a whole range of excuses, whatever they're going to have. Okay? I'm not buying any of them because you didn't take the time to learn pie. And you haven't helped pie. At every step and every turn and every whatever, Core has had to deal with an obstacle, a roadblock, something. Starting from when I got here. Yeah. When people couldn't stay to one account, one person, one account, one mobile device. Okay? That's where it started. And then everybody grabbing everybody off whoever, and building security circles to get the bonus, okay, isn't the way it was written. Okay? And it's just been on and on. And like I say, some of them were non-issues. Okay? I mean, I can't tell you that the debate over value and price and exchanges and what it's going to do, pump and dump and all this other bullshit. Yeah, it is. It's bullshit. Because that's not what Pi has in mind going live. Never has. Never been. And, I mean, I have a story that can back that up and prove it, but nobody listens. Nobody listens. Because anybody coming in after 100,000, 200,000 people, you're late to the party. You are late to the party. I don't care how smart you think you are or how good you are. You're late to the party. And if you were as good as what you think you are, you would have already known about Pi and had scrounged up an invite and been here before 100,000 people. Yeah. Those are the ones that know the space. Anybody that was here before 100,000, 200,000 people, those are the ones that know the space, active in the space, and know their shit. And I'm not saying you guys don't know your shit. But they're man, these guys are on top of new projects coming up all the time. Yeah. Because they're involved, they're aware, they're going around. If you're just getting to an invite, you are definitely late to the party. And you know, I go back when I'm in these chats and stuff, and I see people just brand new pioneer, even 90-day pioneers, talking just voicing opinion, not based on facts of pi. And if you're looking at anything that is off of an unofficial site, it's not official information on pi. It doesn't fit. It doesn't work. You know, I go back to when I first got sober. When I see some of the stuff, and I can't because it's not politically correct. It's not being professional. It's not whatever. When I first got sober and I first started going to meetings, okay, I did a treatment program. I did a 28-day treatment program, and when I got out of that treatment program, man, I had it hooked. I had this whole thing hooked. First meeting I walked into, and I mean, opened my mouth, and the old timers there told me to sit the fuck down and shut up because I didn't know shit. And I can't say that in pi. Okay? But that's where my thought goes. Okay? Because coming in now, okay, I don't want to downplay your skepticism, your concerns, your questions, your whatever, okay? But where the issue is, or where the issue I can only speak for me. The issue I have when people come in the chat like that and just start boasting opinion on what their knowledge is of whatever, or they searched Google or they searched whatever and they came up with information about pi. Sit down and shut up, man. You need to listen to, and nobody listens to old time pioneers. If they did, we wouldn't be having the same conversations over and over again. And it's gotten to a point, I'm getting tired of being blown off by you guys. Because that's all you're doing is you're blowing me off. And you're blowing off all the other old-time pioneers that know pi, been pi, learn pi, tore pi apart. Yeah. Because the way you're going about, or telling people pi, going about what pi is going to do, is bad information for pi. It is. It is. And starting out, pi is just starting out. Brand new. Brand new. I mean, like I said, I don't know the tech, but I don't know whether there's pi out and pi doing whatever it is, whatever. Okay, but the pi that we can use, the pi that will become ours, that we can trade once it goes live, is not out anywhere. It's a number scrolling at the top of the page on our home screen in the app. Off of an emulator, faucet, whatever word you want to use. Okay? It's just dumping pi into a counter. There is no Genesis block for pi official blockchain that will make that pi real. That I do know. Okay? And if you look at all of the different pies that are out, they all have different to the right past decimal point. Now, my thinking, if I were if I were trying to keep track of the amount of whatever's moving around, and the easiest way to eliminate it is to add another zero to the end, man. And when the time comes, the test pi that's out, all I have to do is go in the program and go, whatever coding it is, all I gotta do is, and not X amount of decimal points, and it wipes all that info out. Yeah, it's programming. I do know programming. It's a long time since I've done it. And the language is so, I mean, I think it died with the dinosaurs, man. It was like one of the first languages that came out next to DOS. Yeah. And it didn't make it or whatever. It did for the processor that we reserved for. But it didn't make it past DOS. Okay. So, analog logic, digital logic. Digital logic, if it doesn't meet these conditions, it's gone. Well, I can wipe out all the test pi by adding one line of code. Anything with what's test pi got? Test pi, I think that's 7 places or something like that. Any number that has 7 places past the decimal point is no good. It's gone. See ya. It doesn't even have to be burned because it isn't real. It has never been real. I just got to disappear it. Okay. When it comes to the in-app transfer, I believe they went out 5 places. Now, I don't know how they're going to deal with all that, but the transactions are legit. They have legit pi to use to buy goods and services. So, it's got to be being kept track of somewhere, I would think. Hopefully, the economies that have started have their books in order to keep track of what they have going on. Just in case, I don't know how they're keeping track of it. But hopefully the economies themselves have kept accurate books. Because the guys, the ladies and gentlemen that are part of the pilot and risking, they're the ones risking to make the transactions. Most of them. It's the only way. That's the only way transactions can happen, because they're the only ones that can actually transfer pi. They're the biggest ones at risk. Yeah. To get pi economy started, and when the in-app transfer pilot shut down, and the fractions happened and all sorts of stuff. Okay. That's probably another story for another time. But in that process, I think, even if the pilots weren't on the same page to start with, they would have gotten there eventually. Yeah. Screw it. There's the Pi Network Marketplace started their economy and how they believed it should go. Pi Lifestyles started their economy and started it in such a way that nobody believed. They're still getting laughed at to this day. And skeptics are looking at it like, okay. And y'all know my position. I'm with the TPL because I know what went into the process of where they're at. And all they did was cut the chase. They cut all of the evolution, all of the growing, all of the transitions, everything that Pi Network Marketplace started out at will get to this point. It can't do nothing but. Okay? Because the way Pi is written and set up was to be a barter system. Well, you can't barter with the money. Bartering with the money doesn't work. The money has to have an acceptable value for everybody involved using it to accept it. That's money. That is money. You can't barter with money, even though legally and whatever to get around the laws, you could probably call it barter. But in reality and functionality, you can't use the money and barter. Nobody will ever come to an agreement because we don't all value pie the same. 90%, or maybe not 90, 80% of the community are expecting value to be told to them by somebody else. Whether a lot of them are starting to rely on core, the majority of them are relying on the exchanges to give pie. Now, see, the exchanges don't give pie value; they give pie price. Okay, but the majority are waiting for exchange to give a price to pie. And I'm going back to because you don't know pie. You don't know what pie goal is. You don't know what pie is trying to accomplish. And it's obvious you don't know what currency is or money is, other than the fact that you trade this coin to get this amount of dollars. You don't know. You don't know the foundation of money, what money is, what money does. I'll take your letters. I'll take your shit. I'm ready. Because if you did, and you knew pie, we would be having different conversations in chat. The community would be going in a different direction altogether if you knew money. That's why I say TTL, they just cut to the chase. PNN started out as a barter system, which, sorry guys, okay, where they put a value on pie. I mean, it was low, like what they're talking on exchanges. I mean, it was like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 rupees or whatever. I mean, it came down to like 0.00 something or other. Okay, and with the value, at least a starting value, with a starting value of that low, who could buy anything? Even if it was $10, that low would wipe out most of. And I mean, at that time, they had fair stacks. I mean, the pilots got what they earned by themselves to go into the in-app transfer. And yeah, there's a big whale and whatever, but at that time there still wasn't. I mean, big shacks. So to go that low, how much pie on a $10 or $20 item at 2 cents? I'm going to just keep it simple. 2 cents. How much pie are you going to have to spend or use on a $20 item? You do the math. Okay? Well, it don't work, because at that time, in my opinion, the high net worth market didn't think past themselves. Sorry guys, ladies and gentlemen, because you didn't think out to the pioneers just coming in. They're going to have one pie. If it's valued at 2 cents and they have one pie, they can't do diddly. And as pie has grown to 25 million, the majority of pioneers, all right, pie is not a pyramid scheme, but I'm going to break it down as a pyramid, okay? Because with the halving and stuff, that's kind of how it breaks out and it expands. Okay? So the first pioneers that came in, they got a stack. And if they can invite people, they got big stacks. And there are some big whales. I'm not going to argue. There are some big whales. And then the next halving comes, and the next tier, layer, whatever it is, the next group of pioneers is going to have everybody has it the same. So the top people, the ones that were here first, lines are earned pi at a different rate. Came to a halving, the next group and the first group all have the same base rate and earn the same base rate. And depending on how long it takes to get to the next halving, then in the first two groups, they're all the same as the third group coming in. They're all earning at the same rate, mining at the same rate. But as we're halving, we're also growing. So the base is growing. So people at the top, now the referral rewards is set up to help level and keep the playing field level from people who are just joining to people that are already here. If people just joining can get referrals, YouTube followings, whatever it is, they come in with a major amount of referrals, is to help level and distribute pi as evenly as it can. Well, if somebody comes in and gets that many referrals, they can jump up to be a whale that came in now, or came in wherever. So you're going to have people that are mining by themselves and mining by themselves from the beginning. So the levels, it's all staggered. You got people that can refer, people that can't, people that built security circles, people that didn't, da 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 da. Okay. You shuffle that over time, that's all going to level out. Well, because the people first coming in got to earn at a higher rate, next one got to earn a little less. Well, we're getting to a point that earning rate is low. I'd be the first one to admit it. I don't like mining that low, but that's on you guys, man. That's on what you believe about scarcity and all this other, okay, and everything so far, all the cryptos out there, all half and all scarcity is an illusion, folks. Yes, okay. How scarce is a dollar bill? They print 4, 8, 12 trillion every year, and they just keep printing them every year. That's why the dollar is not for shit. Okay, because they deflate it just by printing it. It's not attached to anything. There is nothing supporting what the dollar is. Fake currency. Okay, now keep that in mind when we get to this point, because now back up until 71, yes, the dollar was backed by gold. It had intrinsic value. You could take a dollar bill, take it to the treasury, and exchange it for either silver or gold, whatever the note was, whether it was silver note or gold note. You could take it to the treasury, and you could get X amount of gold for the denomination on the bill. And because we've been doing shady stuff way back when, countries started coming over here and going, we're going to change our dollars in and we want our gold and changing the dollars. That's why they detached it in 71. Because we don't, in the United States, we don't have enough gold to cover bills out around the world. That's why they detached it. Yeah. Okay. And, okay, so now they detached it. I'm getting off track. Now they detached it. It's a fake currency. It's paper. Nothing. It is what it is. Okay? So, see back here. So, now we're down 25 million people. Somebody coming in today will have 1 pi, and I haven't done the math here lately, but we're getting to 0.2 pi. If you have, as Pioneer, you get 0.1. If you're a contributor with full security circle, you get the other half of the mining rate or earning rate, whatever. Okay, 0.4. So by the end of the day, they're going to have maybe, what, 5 pie? They are in the majority. The majority holds the less coin. But overall, they hold the majority of the coin. It's the way it's designed. Keep things as level as possible, or whatever. And why Core set that up that way is because when I first joined, there was nothing. I mean, we had the app. I mean, we had the chat rooms, and I think there were only like 10 or 15 or something like that. There was not a lot to the app. Okay. Well, for being here early, helping support it, helping it grow, help building it, help doing our job, we got rewarded a little more pie for being here when there was nothing here. As pie has grown and expanded and get what it is, the work that the newbies coming in, the work that they're doing should be less because it should have already been done, and all they should have done is salted into it. Okay, so now we're getting to this point, and I don't think PNN looked at that far out. Okay. And I don't want to ruffle feathers and do whatever. I'm just going by what I saw play out, what I saw happen. Okay. And where they were at, I watched some auctions and I watched some stuff because people didn't put pie ahead of themselves. Yeah, I watched, and this value so low, and I got watching some bidding wars and stuff on there, and it was like, what in the heck are you doing? That's not working at creating value, usable value for pie. And I've been to a lot of auctions. I like car auctions, animal auctions, whatever. I like the excitement of an auction, especially if you know what you want and you're bidding on, and you get into a bidding war or whatever. They're exciting, they're whatever. And I wouldn't have been bidding on what I was bidding on if I didn't want it. So I'm watching going into bidding wars, and they keep running the amount of pie up on an item. There's no way they should be giving that much pie for that item. Anyway, and now TPL, they started out at $10 a pie. Unofficial, between everything right now, unofficial, they started their economy out at $10, which at that time was realistic. It was a little like $5 low from what Core initially put out. Core did make the very first transaction in pie. Yes. They were the first ones to use pie to buy a tangible item. Yeah. They bought a pie web domain from a domain trader out of China, and I believe, if memory recalls, I think it was like 10,000 pie they gave for this web domain. And it was harder than heck to get what that web domain was worth. Yeah, it was. Nobody was saying. Nobody was coming off it. You couldn't get a value on it. I just happened to get lucky one night, being in chat. The dude that sold the domain, I don't know whether he let it slip or was proud or whatever, but I got a value direct from him what it would cost in China. Yeah, it didn't make sense when he first told me the number because I was thinking in U.S. dollars and not Chinese yen. Yeah. So, after going through all the conversions and all the other stuff and what I had to do, the domain that Core bought came out to $15 a pie. TPL was real close in what Core thought pie value was. at that time. It's fact. It happened. It should be recorded somewhere, and you should be able to find it. Now, I don't know whether you'll find how much the domain was, but their transaction is recorded. It's there. It's done. It's a done deal. Okay? So, now, I want to address, I don't want to screw your name up, KUFORIJI, FIKUNGOGYO. Thank you for your comment and question and all that about the last video I did at, I think it was 24 minutes, seconds, about core, for it being illegal for core. Now, what they did probably wouldn't put them under, wouldn't bring attention to it, to them. Okay? But they, core legally in the United States, the way I understand it, any person, any founder, any designer, any whatever, from originally from a project, especially of this scope, they can't come out and say, all right, we say pie is worth $50 or $25, or exchange price is $5.10. They can't do it. They consider it, what is it? Price fixing, price manipulation, insider trading, all that, whatever they legally they want to tag on them, they can, because they would be the ones that would benefit the most from whatever value or price or whatever they would put on pie, and it traded. It traded. Core would be the first in line to benefit the most from them manipulating and fixing price. The U.S. frowns on that. They don't like that. Okay, so that's where the legalities come in, as far as from the way I understand that core legally, because of their position in the project, cannot have a say. Now, they had a say and nobody picked up on it. So what difference does it make? Okay. No, I mean, it was probably at least a week or so, 5 days maybe, before I was able to get some kind of idea what it was. Nobody was saying. So, in a roundabout way, core did set a value at that point. I don't know how many actually picked up on it. I really don't, because PNN didn't change their position. TPL didn't change their position, and at that time, I think Facebook, the oldest unofficial pie site that's out, is off of Facebook. Okay. They did theirs under the table and sneaky. I mean, they never drew any attention to themselves while these two were going through wars. Okay. But they got an economy going as well, and I think they started at 10. Well, they didn't change, but they set $15 a pie. Okay. And as soon as I found out, I mean, anybody knows me, as soon as I found out about it, as soon as I found out, I posted it, man. This is what I found, this is where I found it, I came out at $15 a pie. And it didn't matter. I mean, people didn't change their position. Okay? So, where it didn't take long for TPL to realize that $10 a pie, the amount of pie that it's going to cost, even at $10, the last group of people coming in won't be able to spend their pie, won't be able to use it. They can't use it. They don't have enough pie to use it. And like I said, all they have done is cut to the chase. They went from 10 to $100. And they've been trading at $100 or using a $100 value per pie for a long time. Long time. And I think last I heard, Facebook was around $25. They were trading pie, using pie at $25 to buy it then. PNN, I believe, raised theirs to 10 a while back. I don't know. I mean, I try to stay out. Right now, I'm trying to stay as neutral as I can and stay out of all their, because they are third-party, independent sites, unofficial. So I don't know what PNN is going to do. I don't know whether they're going to stay a third party or they're going to try to get into PIAT. I don't know. I don't know what. TPL has already made a decision. They will always be a third party, independent, unofficial PIAT. Unofficial site deals use Pi. The Pi Mall out of China, which I think the Pi Mall is legit. I don't know the structure on how they're trading Pi and doing Pi with whatever. Last I looked at them, they were using the $100 value for Pi. Okay. Now you have to remember, the values that are going on in these unofficial economies outside of Pi is not cash tradable value. It's buying power value to use Pi as a means of exchange to buy goods and services. Now, you get to where, okay, so that's kind of what's going on with what's happening outside of Pi. I haven't kept up on the track hackathon. I do know tomorrow, the 21st, that Core will be opening up, or whoever's involved in the hackathon will be opening that up for community voting on whatever. That will open up tomorrow, from what I picked up. Okay. But as far as what projects they've done in the hackathon, I don't know. I haven't kept up with it. I just haven't kept up with it. So I don't know. I don't know how Pi is being used, what's going to be used. I don't know any of that. I probably should. Because it's going to get real sporty. It is. Because whatever's going on in the hackathon and whatever they've agreed upon in there is probably going to be different than what's going on out here. That will be official. Okay? So, and here's where I get, because once Pi is live and Core puts Pi in my Pi wallet, I can go anywhere I want to use it. Okay? And if whatever's going on, if there's something in the hackathon, there's whatever it is that I'm going to use it on or want to use it on, and I can find a better value from a third-party site, I know this is official, but I'm going to where I get the best value. That's all there is to it. Okay? Because once Pi is mine, it's mine. Nobody can get to it. Nobody can tell me what to do with it. Nothing. Once Pi goes into my wallet, it's mine. Okay? It can go anywhere. It can go anywhere it's able to go. Okay? Now, if the project Pi would have gone the way I believe it should have gone, okay, all of the whatever's going on with all these communities on the outside would have sorted itself out organically. Okay? Because people would have been doing the same thing. They would have gone to wherever they're getting the best value, wherever they can use their Pi, wherever. That's the nature of open market. Well, we have to get something to the open market before the open market can control it. That's what these economies were doing. Okay? If you start out at the bottom, at the beginning, reinvent the wheel that's already been invented, there's no reason for Pi to have to go back that far. Well, how's it going to get? What's that? What do you? How's that support? What's that value? How are you going to do all that with that value? You can't. If you know money, you can. If you understand currency, you can. And if you understand pi, you can. It's not rocket science, man. They make it a lot more complicated than what it actually is. Now, once it's on the open market and it's doing its thing and it's trading its whatever, then some of that comes back into play. We don't even have to worry about supply and demand. No, it's a non-issue in pi. Okay. Supply the dollar bill. Does it go on supply and demand? Hell no. It goes on bubbles, man. It goes on interest rate. It goes on the housing market. It goes on the stock market. It goes on people using it every day. People doing business with it every day. Moving it every day. That's the American economy. And what gives the dollar its buying power? It's not backed by anything. It's a piece of paper printed on it. And they print trillions of them a year. What gives it? What makes it so special that I can go to the store and use it? Or I can give it to you to buy something from you. Okay? I know the answer. Do you? What makes it worth the same to both of us? That a $10 bill is a $10 bill. And I can go into 7-Eleven, I can go into Home Depot, I can go into wherever I want to go, and that $10 has the same value. I mean, I can buy the same amount worth of for that $10 bill. What gives it that power? What gives it that value? What gives it that store owner is willing to accept that $10 bill at $10, which is probably now like about $2. Anyway, what gives, when I go get gas, I go to or Hobbies or whatever, and I give him $10 and tell him I need $10 for gas, and he starts pumping and pushes $10 for it. What gives it that? What gives it that? What gives it that? We do. Trusting in what it is. Person accepting it, trusting and believing it in what it is. Yes, it's backed by the government and all that. That's all. Okay? Yes, I will give you that. It's backed because it's backed by the government. The government that screws us every chance we get is backed by. It's an illusion. If you or I didn't believe that $10 was worth $10, I couldn't use it and you wouldn't accept it. Oh yeah. The only thing stopping that from happening is we have no alternative. We have no other money out there. The government has made sure we have no other money out there. We have to use what they say we have to use. There is no alternative. We have no choice but to accept and believe. And they're running it in the ground. And it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be too far off before the banking crisis gets out of hand that they can't do anything about it anymore. It's that close. And it's come to light the last few weeks. And I noticed it when I was at the grocery store. Because I go into the grocery store and I get a couple of bags of groceries and they were like $20-25. I can't get out of that grocery store with the same 2 bags of groceries for less than $60. It means I've lost buying power with what I'm using. And what drove it home was I went and got hamburgers one night. And I hadn't been to the place in a while. But when I was frequenting the place, my normal order came to about $15. I raised an eye when it went to 18. I about shit when I got the bill this last time. Same order, $31. We're only talking a few months. A few months, the dollar has lost 40 to 50% of its buying power. We have no other alternative. That's what we have to use. And it comes down to us trusting it and accepting it. And what makes it a little farther is when I give you $10, you can take that same $10 bill and you can go use it someplace to get what you need or want or whatever it is from somebody else. And then they can take that same 10 and go somewhere else. That's kind of what gives it strength. And from what I understand, a dollar bill, when I put a dollar bill into circulation, it goes through it was either 4 to 6 transactions before it hits wherever it's supposed to hit. That's what makes the economy move. And it works because we believe it, trust it, and accept it. That's what makes the dollar have a value. Now, in Pi, all we're doing is creating a starting value. Because once that value is created and being used and accepted and transferring and moving around or whatever, and we go live, then that value is, whatever's going on in the open market will control that value. But it won't be controlled the way you understand crypto. It will not swing like crypto. It's not designed to swing like crypto. It's designed to be stable. The more we use it, the more the last group of people coming in are able to use it and want to use it, the stronger our economy gets. The more we're moving Pi around. And now we're just getting started. I'm not looking at the outside yet. I know. Okay. Right out of the block, and I'm hearing people in the hackathon talking about they've been talking to businesses and whatever it is. Well, I don't know what they're selling them to be able for an outside business to go, yeah, I'll accept Pi. You ain't even live yet. What's the value? What's the performance of it? And anybody that knows crypto is going to be thinking the same thing that you guys are thinking about crypto. Pi's a brand new deal. It's going to drop out of the bottom and it's going to be as unstable, as volatile as everything else that's out there. Whoa. No, I'm not willing to accept your currency. Okay? So, all of that will happen. And there's not a doubt in my mind that as soon as we get to a point that we have a product better than what's out on the market today. And that's on us. That's on us moving and buying, whatever. Well, we got to be able to turn it to cash so we can resupply goods and we can do all of it. Relax. Okay? And I'm going to say probably one or two things. If you are starting a business in Pi without a positive outside cash flow, you have no business starting a business in Pi. None. Because any businessman, any true businessman, starting a brand new business, I don't care what currency you use, it's brand new business. It's a crapshoot whether it's going to survive and make it the first 3 to 5 years. That businessman has already planned his cash flow for that business to turn a profit, to get going. Yes. And I'm sure most of the business people that I know that are, they opened up a business, they opened up a shop in Pi, they put together a business plan and everything else that went together to open a business. Okay? And I'm not saying that you can't come in and just put a name on the shop and offer something, whatever it is, up, whatever. Okay. I don't know whether that's the wisest way to start a business, especially now. I know I'm trying to help out and trying to, and I would, if I had something to sell, I would be risking to, I would be selling it. Okay. I probably would have a business plan. I'd probably just go straight at it. That's just the way I am. It makes it. If it don't, oh well. Okay. But anybody that has made it in business doesn't operate that way. So, I'm not saying that you got to have a positive cash flow, at least for a little bit, to get up and running. Pie's not up and running. Okay. Now, I will say, if we go the direction that you all want to go, you will never recover to be able to buy more goods to supply to your store. You won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do it because the exchange will be so low that you will never get your money back. Okay. If inside the community we're using pie at $100 a pie, and it's moving, and we're moving it, and okay, now where that supports that value is everything that pie has already built, and everything is built in pie. The app, the blockchain, whatever dApps are going on, whatever dApps can be continually be built on us. I mean, we are the biggest because if we trust it and use it and move it around, it's no different than what the dollar bill's doing. We're just the government. If you don't trust the community and the government and everybody in it, I mean that's why it is important to have 3 to 5 trusted people that we know that's not going to do anything to screw things up. And through that, we've built a trust graph that if somebody does screw up, they're going to be gone, and the protocol itself will pull them out. That's what the trust graph is for. Yes, it's for the nodes and all that to figure out who they can trust to connect to. It goes more than that, man. It goes deeper. It's also used to pull out bots, bad actors, whatever it is, in our community, in our network. That's why 3 to 5 trusted people that we know creates a little center, a little piece that connects to another one. And the amount of people that I've gotten to know, we're in different circles, but it's built on trust. Well, okay, so if it's built on trust and I can trust to do business with you, well, if we can trust each other and we can trust the community, why can't we trust the currency that we're building or build? We'll end up doing our part because we have to make it do what it's going to do. So, I am for the $100. I'll be the first one to admit. But if that isn't where everybody else comes into agreement, I'm willing to go to wherever everybody's willing to agree as long as it's high enough that everybody in pie can use their pie. Because if they can use their pie and have enough, they're not going to wipe them out. They're going to be wanting to use it. If they want to use it, that's the battle inside. If you don't want to use it, pie's not going anywhere. People have to be wanting to use it, wanting to be able to buy what they want, what they need. I'm going more starting out what we need. And viewing it, it's all about perception. It's all about how you view it. If I can stay inside a pie and buy what I need daily, inside a pie, using pie, I've made money. And I'm utilizing the money that I've made. Because I didn't have to come up with cash out of my pocket for starters. And I didn't have to trade pie on the exchange and give somebody else a portion of my pie to get fake money to go buy what I wanted or needed. I can stay in-house and buy what I need and keep all the fees and stuff that we send out all the way, they don't go nowhere. It stays in our pocket. Damn. Okay. Well, we're just looking at a starting value, whatever it is. And the higher we can start it, the farther ahead we are. The lower you guys want to keep dropping it or bringing it down, all you're doing is taking profit money out of everybody else's pocket. Okay? If there's an economy going at $100 and it's moving, it's working, I mean, they're making transactions and they're set up and they're doing it. And you have somebody over here at $50 and they're going and they're doing it, they're making it happen. And I come along, you're offering this and you're offering this. It's not about convenience. I'm going over here. They will have to. I mean, they're going to have to, somewhere along the line, they're going to have to get their value up to where they're at. Otherwise, they're not going to be in business. Mm-hmm. It will level out. It has to. Can't do nothing but. If somebody wants to stay in business, they have to be competitive or have to be able to draw. Well, if I'm getting twice as much value someplace else, I'm going someplace else. That's all there is to it. I mean, that's no brainer. Okay. Well, third world country, don't worry about third world countries. I wish I was in one of the third world countries. Okay. PI is about raising the standard of living for everybody. Them third world countries should have the same benefits and whatever available to them that I have. You have. Anybody has. Everybody in the PI community should be on that same economic scale. Yeah. That's what PI is about. Putting us all on the same economic footing. Okay? Now, if you're looking to keep third world countries, so we can, because you're a third world country, we control you. You can't, okay? Then that's wrong, man. That's wrong. Everybody in PI, no matter how many millions of people we have in PI, from all over the world, we should all be at the same economic level. Mm-hmm. There should be no difference. Anybody in the world, somebody in Nepal, Nigeria, Africa, wherever, should have the same buying power of PI that I have, you have. They should be able to go anywhere inside of PI community and buy what they need or want. Yes. Yes. I don't care if they, man, if I lived as oppressed as they have for as long as they have, and you turn me loose in a candy shop, I'm going to be a kid in a candy shop for a while. Yeah. Yeah. They'll learn. They'll relax. They'll get it together. Yeah. Man, we're adults. And to think they can't think or work their way through that, I would be sadly mistaken. They're just as intelligent as everybody else. As intelligent as you and I or whoever. In some areas, they're even more intelligent. Because they have to solve problems that we don't have to deal with daily. Yeah. We all have talents, we all have intelligence. We just have to see each other the same. That's all. Okay? So anyway, inside the community should have been happening from the beginning of the in-app transfer. If whatever economies were started, as they grew and as people KYC moved into the in-app transfer, the in-app transfer scaled as the community scaled. As the economies are scaling and sorting out, they're expanding and scaling. And there would have been others that would have broken out of this place or this place and gone off and maybe done their own. Or somebody in some other country would have maybe started here, saw what was going on, seen what was, okay, and then either broke off on their own and built in their own country, or would have worked together to get something started in another country. It's about working together. There would have been a lot of other communities or economies popping up as the in-app transfer scale, as the community scale, as the economy scale. We're a year and a half or so behind, maybe 2 years behind of what would have been going on. And what would have happened if that would have happened as these economies are going on, Pi is trading goods and services, are trading between us and whatever it is, even if I'm sure there would have been issues to sort out and so there wasn't some bad blood between. I mean, we're people. We still got a long way to go to learn what we need to learn. There would have been issues, but those would have sorted out as we scaled because Pi was still in development. It couldn't go to the exchange. There was going that way. As the economy scaled, as the community scaled, okay, as people were coming in, KYC wouldn't have been as big of an issue. We wouldn't be looking at KYCing whatever it is, 25 million people in a few months. It would have all happened organically. If. And you can tell me I'm wrong, and court can tell me that wasn't the way it was, and that you can tell me all that, and yeah, okay. Yeah, right. Because it makes sense. It makes sense. And when it makes sense, then it should have went that way. It took me a while to figure out what was going on. Because when that happened, when it all got shut down, Core had to change the plan to what they're doing now. And I'm sure there's got to be some blockchain running somewhere that's covering the Pi that's kind of floating around out here. Because if Core did not cover their ass, if somebody were to sell Pi, would have shut the project down. That's what you guys aren't thinking about. You're not thinking about the project. All you're thinking about is yourself. If you sell Pi right now, Core could send your ass to jail. Yeah, it's in Core's court. If you sell Pi, everything will be frozen, and you will be gone. Yeah, you will not see the Pi, either that you bought or sold or you've earned all this time. You will be gone. See, why? Because you ever heard of something called fraud? Defrauding the public? Anybody that sells Pi is exactly what they've done. And because you have no Pi, you own no Pi, Core is going to be in control of all of the Pi, and it is their project. If they want to drop the hammer on you, they could drop the hammer on you. Yeah. Send your ass to jail. Whether you believe me or not, I don't care. That's fact. That is fact. They have within their right, owning the project, right now in control of all of the Pi and what happens with it. And we own no Pi means we have no Pi to sell. And if you make a transaction with somebody and they send you cash for something you don't have, that's fraud, man. That's fraud. Illegal. Fraud is illegal. Fraud is a felony. You can do some time, man. If Core, out of the goodness of their heart, well, we don't want to make it like, if they don't want to draw a whole lot of attention to whatever, probably slide. If I were Core, I'd send your ass to jail. I have no problem with it. None. Because you can't follow the way the rules are, the way things are written. You can't. If you can't do that, you have no business here. Yeah. care. You don't. Because if you're screwing up now, you're going to put the whole network and the whole community in jeopardy. Get your ass out. Okay? It's been going on for too long. Too long. I mean, you know, CORE did not set up rules, whatever it is, whatever you want to use. Okay? CORE did not set up anything that is not. You don't think I'm a rebel and I push laws and boundaries and edges and all that? Okay. CORE did not write or hold us to anything that accountable that was that hard to stay within. It wasn't. It isn't. So, if you can't do it now, I mean, I still hear people, well, we can do this, especially when it comes to nodes and all that other stuff, and starting Pi on PC and all that other stuff. There is a reason, one person, one account, one mobile device, one node if you choose to run one. It doesn't say, well, if you choose to run a node, you can get rid of the mobile mining app. No, it doesn't say that. Why? This is why I had ran through some burnout and when, okay. How stupid are you people? How young are you people? Okay? One person, one account, one mobile device, one node on PC if you choose to run one. Well, I can set my mobile up on my PC and I can run it off of there. Why? Because you can doesn't mean you need to or have to. If you would have learned and understand Pi, mobile device, node on PC, is what makes up Pi network. Both of them. And it needs both of them. Okay? CORE. Man, you guys don't give CORE enough credit for what they've written. Because you don't read it and understand it. I mean, and you don't listen to the ones that do know it, that have taken the time to learn, have gone through the learning curve and all of the stuff that goes with learning something new. You think, if I didn't think that, I wouldn't be having the same discussions, arguments, debates over the same stuff. Because you're not reading and you're not listening. And there's a lot of us older pioneers that know that spend time in the chats and do whatever it is or whatever, okay? And okay. CORE are some pretty smart cookies, man. And if you understand what they've written, and yes, it may be reading between the lines a little bit, and it may be thinking for yourself a little bit to come to a conclusion. But if people are here that have the answers to help you get to those conclusions, use it. It's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. That was the only reason I wanted to be a mod. Mm-hmm. Because I enjoy helping people learn, grow, watching them grow, helping them grow, becoming friends, becoming trusted friends. Yeah, that's why I do it. I did it. And I have friends that didn't know anything, don't know anything, nothing, okay? Didn't even know crypto or whatever. And we sat down and took time and helped get to a point to where they understand Pi, they understand what's going on there, okay? And I got people who are smarter than me. Smarter than me, I learned a lot of them. But they didn't know pie. And, I mean, we had some knife down dry house, and we came to a mutual respect and a mutual understanding. And what they come to an understanding, what's on the outside is on the outside. And pie is pie, what pie is. Now, they may not agree with me on that 100% or whatever, but they were at least open enough and willing enough to hear something different. At that point, only time over time it will show. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter what pie bag. It really doesn't to start, because it will get the way I believe, well, the way things will happen in pie. It could be, depending on what happens with mentality and exchange. Yeah. Because no matter where we start buying power value at and pie, it will over time raise. It's not going to it's going to have ups and downs. I mean, when you're on the market, it's going to have ups and downs. But it's not going to have ups and downs. It's not designed to. To me, supply is too small. But supply is so big and big enough, community is big enough, circulating supply is big enough. You know, people talk about whales and all that. Whales swim in a big pond and make a little puddle and make a little splash. Okay? Today's crypto, a whale starts to twitch, that community starts lining up, waiting to see which way that whale's going. Pie, a whale twitches, throw him a fish, man. Because he's not going to have an effect over pie value. I don't even think, once pie is up and running, no matter what the exchange price comes out to be, a whale can't even affect the exchange price. Probably. But, yeah, he might. You guys might be able to play over there, depending on the amount of pie that is put on the exchange to play with. That's you guys' sandbox. You can have it. You can play in that sandbox. But don't screw with what we have going on in the economy. Exchanges are will be part of pie economy. And I'm not saying that pie shouldn't list, not to be able to trade it for other currencies. I'm not saying that. I've never said that. What I am saying is, don't let them dictate it. Because if they dictate it, if those speculators speculate, like they've been speculating all this time, speculating on speculated numbers that came up with numbers that don't mean shit anyway because nothing's official. Now you talk about a waste of time, doesn't it? But they got paid for it too, I guess. I don't know. But, okay, if we let them dictate what pie price will be on the exchange, it's going to be real hard to maintain the value that we've worked out and created and done inside of pie. Because you have too many believing that that's true. And it's not, even though we're doing what we're doing. Yeah. I already see it. I see it happen every day. Pie app is the first place and the original place and the home base of core team. What does that mean? What does it mean? That any official pie information is going to start in the pie app. People that are close to core are going to have pretty much official information from core, direct from core, are going to be the most up-to-date current on official information. All of the official information written by core about pie is in the pie app. Home where the official information is. Now, I won't argue with you that I won't argue. I've already been there. Okay, that there's spelling and grammar and Okay, and it's hard to read, and it doesn't go into as much detail in one place as it does. Okay, but there is enough information in there. There is enough information in the white paper and the FAQ to figure out what's going on. Yeah, now I've had some personal experience that has helped push it over the edge, but there is enough information in those documents, official documents, to understand what's going on. But, and then from there is a list of official PI sites, which are going to give probably the most accurate official information about PI from official PI sites. It's the only place that official information comes from. It's the only place official information can come from. And you guys, I mean, you take the time to research other places, other stuff, and it's all unofficial. There's probably not an ounce of truth to it. And you believe it. And you bring it in here. And people that don't know believe it. And because of whatever, how you sound, whatever it is, or whatever following you got, I don't know what it is. I really don't. But people will be more willing, more understanding, more believing about following the information you're putting out that is garbage, incorrect, false, whatever it is about PI. I can't tell you how many times repeatedly, no. They come back and believe the same thing. They believe the same thing. They believe unofficial, incorrect, false information off of unofficial, false sites over. And this is what blows me away. It blows me away. The information outside of PI, that is garbage from, so I don't even know where they're getting the information from. They're probably running it off their opinion, whatever. But people will believe that information than they do the official information. Coming from, the only place it can come from is court team. And you don't even believe them. It's straight out of their mouth. And you don't believe them either. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. The only place official is whether you agree with it or what or not, or you figure, if you have some different plan in your mind, so keep it to yourself, because it has no place in here. It didn't come from them. It's their project. You know, and it took me a long time to figure out why CORE doesn't either. I mean, they come around more and more, but why they don't put out a lot of information. Probably right now why they don't come out around the community a whole lot. Because they used to come out back at around 100K, 200K. All three of them were in chat pretty regularly. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you could almost set your watch to when Nicholas was in chat and when Vince was in chat, and C-Fan would kind of float in and around. But all three of them were there all the time. Until things got busy and got crazy, and they had to start figuring out how to do stuff that they shouldn't have had to do, whatever it is. Okay. And I mean, I even complained about, they could do a little better in the information department. Because trust me, I have the same fear. I'll say fears, skepticism, anger, questions that everybody else has. So I have them. I had them. And I've had them over time. Just not to the magnitude of... Because once I let go and let them have it, it's their project or whatever, I didn't have to drive the big bus anymore. All I had to do was be there to change the tires and put tires in the air and change the oil, stuff, whatever it is, when it needed to be done. That's all I needed to do. I didn't have to worry about driving the big bus. Big bus is on them. Okay? Clean the windows is now and then. That's my job. My job isn't to interfere with their job. They know their job. Okay? And they should have been able to trust the whole community to do their job. But they trust, they have certain people. Okay? But why they don't put out as much information as people would like them to put out or whatever it is, because you don't understand the information that's already been put out. You don't read or check the information that's already been put out. And why? When they know they're going to get a battle over something they're putting out, why would they put it out? Just go by doing their job, filter it down through the mods, and let us deal with it. Yeah. I'm okay with it. Because I understand. I understand. And when I watch, and it kind of hit home when, you guys come in threatening. Give it a break, man. You don't have enough juice. I've watched a few people that had juice. Try to threaten Biden. Try to threaten quarantine. And a couple of them took like 6,000 people with them. The other one took like 7,000 or 8,000 or 10,000 people with them or whatever it was. Then had some YouTube guy come in. He had his following. And he had, I don't know, tens of thousands or whatever it is. That he was taking with him if the court didn't do what he wanted him to do. Okay. And I think there was somebody else that would come. Okay. The court never flinched. The court never paid them any mind. Okay. And it took me a long time to realize why CORE. I was impressed CORE didn't pay me any mind. Didn't even give them time of day. They didn't even talk about it on any side that I know of. They just ignored them. And I'm talking a couple of them, some pretty powerful people. And, well, why, and like I say, it took me a while to understand. Why would I entertain somebody that is threatening me with something that has nothing to do with what I'm doing? Yeah, that's all it was. That's all it was. This person thought I should be doing something different. This person thought he should be listened to. And this person didn't get his way. And yes, at the time when I was watching it happen, oh God, he's taking 10,000 people with him and all whatever. Okay? I didn't blip. Didn't even miss him. He didn't come back and stir more up. Somebody else may have stirred some stuff up and whatever it was. But even that was just a blip. Pi moved on. Because people who were doing the threatening had no clue of what was really going on in the project. They were going off their opinion and trying to push their weight and gain their control. This is court project. Yeah. So, I know I went way over and I wasn't going to try to do that, but it's just the way I get when I get fired up. Because for Pi to have any chance at all, we have to be able to work together. Get on the same page, move in the same direction. Because, I know most of you have heard the saying or know the saying or whatever, divide and conquer. And it's true. It's true. You look at any battle that's ever happened or anything where conflict is going on or whatever, the winning side is usually divided to the losing side. They don't even have to divide us, man. We've already divided ourselves. So for Pi to have a chance, we have to come together. Be thinking about Pi and not And I had the same issues as everybody else. I came in wanting to be in control. I wanted to have a say in the decision. I wanted my input to be heard. I did. Then I know how come somebody. I'm a bull in the china shop when I get onto something. I just don't let it go until I get an answer that I'm looking for. And if I can't find the answer I'm looking for, I get pissed and I leave. That's it. I don't have to take people with me to make a decision. Go. Okay. When I finally got to a point that I committed to the project. I committed to the project and I let go. I let go. You know, I have never been part of core team. I do not even know core team. Core team doesn't know me. Why would I even be considered to be in a decision-making process at that level? I don't even have, I have what little paperwork I got. I got no paperwork compared to what they have up there. Okay. And in certain areas, paperwork does count. Especially if you don't have it. Okay. Well, once I let go, I am a pioneer. I'm a pie pioneer. I'm one. Doesn't matter what I do, whether I come or go or whatever. It's not going to affect pie. It's not going to affect core team decision. I am not that big. I'm not that. I don't carry that kind of juice, man. And I hate to say this, guys and gals. Anybody that's sitting on this side of the curtain doesn't carry that juice. We're all just pioneers. That's it. Okay. It's not that our opinions don't count, but they don't count. Okay. Until core asks for them. When core asks for them, get them out, put them out there. They're asking. And they have asked for help and asked for opinion a few times. We just let them down. We just let them down. That's all. Yeah. So why, you don't keep asking somebody to do something when they keep dropping the ball and failing on what they're doing. Well, I'm going to do it myself, fuck it. Okay. Well, when they're not asking for opinion, or they're not asking for our help, there's no reason to give it. None. And when they do ask, then we give them what they're looking for, what they want, what they need, not what we think they need. They're not asking for what we think they need. They're asking for what they need. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about coming together. Talking about coming together fits with pie starting value. Because if we're together and we whatever value, okay, whatever value, I don't care what value it is, whatever value we come up, we decide, and the people that are selling stuff are willing to accept pie at that value. That's pie value. The bottom line is the people selling goods. If they're willing to accept pie at X value, that's pie value. And if that value is too low, and we don't choose to spend pie at that value, we're going to have to raise it. Yeah. The power is with us. The control is with us. All of us. Okay? Because if we do something or don't do something, will influence what happens. That's the control core getting back to us. Okay? That's why starting the economy first matters. Because, what I hear off the exchange, everybody is off the philosophy or thinking of today. Okay? ICO, airdrop, whatever it is, all of the cryptos today have had to start on the market. Yeah. Because most projects, if not all, run an initial coin offering to raise capital for the project. And at that time, also created liquidity for the exchange to cover the amount of coins that were on the exchange that were trading. I'm not talking about now where exchanges are dropping that point of their deal. Not all of them, some of them. To where, yeah, you can get listed without liquidity. And I think there's at least one that I know that, yeah, is a well-known exchange. Because it's a smart move for them. Because if they don't require liquidity, they can list more coins without fear of having to delist. So they can get more trades going on between more current coins, crypto, token, whatever. Verbiage sucks. Okay, they can create more trades by having more projects listed on their exchange, which improves their profit. Smart move. Okay? It might be a little risky, but it's a smart move to create these trades. Okay? So today, you don't need liquidity to get listed on the exchange. But currency, I mean, really a currency doesn't even need liquidity if it's a true currency. What liquidity does the dollar have? It did when it was backed by. What does it have now? What liquidity does the dollar have? None. So why does a currency need liquidity? Because all of the professors and books and everything have learned says we need it. Well, on the exchange, yes. Because liquidity on the exchange covers if anything screws up on the exchange, they have enough cash to cover whatever's being traded. That's why the liquidity is in there. The dollars, the banking industry is about to take a dump. There's no liquidity. When they close the doors on the banks and say we can't get our cash out, you ain't gonna get no cash out. I don't care whether you got a credit card or, well, credit card you can still buy that credit, but you're not gonna use a bank card and get a debit. When they close the banks and you can't get your money out, you're not gonna get your money out. And there are a lot. They're getting ready to write some laws and stuff going in place that it will be legal for the government to take what you have in your bank account. Yeah. And they're going to limit your bank account to $600. Any transaction over $600, they're going to track. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, I know I'm going to shut this down. We get the economy going. We get a value established for pi, just starting value. And we choose not to put anything out on the exchange. There is nothing to trade on the exchange. I don't care how much people want to buy. If there is nothing to buy, they can't buy. Mm-hmm. And, I've been thinking about it a little more. If enough of us understand and are living inside the economy, there's no reason to sell on exchange. Now, I'm not saying that there won't come up a reason or whatever it is, but starting out, there is no reason. There should be no reason to want to sell on the exchange. Yeah, want to put it. Okay. Because how is the exchange going to have pi on the exchange to trade? That's what an initial coin offering does. An initial exchange offering. Puts coins on the exchange, offers them for sale, gets them moving, trading, doing. That's how they get their start. on the exchange. Pi does not need that. And I'm still under, okay, the ads that we view today have gotten us to this point. And as much as I'm hearing, or as much as what people are saying, those ads are worth the core. Well, I hope core took enough out to cover their expenses so they can live like they did before they started this project. But I don't see them taking the whole bundle. Well, if that bundle is continually adding up from the ads we're watching, Pi doesn't need liquidity, it already has it. So Pi is already liquefied. Doesn't need the exchange to liquefy. And the only way Pi can reach the exchange is if somebody wants to sell it. If the exchange lists it, somebody wants to sell it. You know there's no buyers out there. And you sell it. Okay. Now, most of the people I'm hearing that want to sell don't have a whole lot of Pi. I mean, if you're talking under 500,000 Pi, ain't a lot of Pi. Ain't a lot of Pi on the market. Okay. Now, if 25 million people go, yeah, I'm going to sell for 10 cents, well, then why are you here? If you're going to do that, why are you here? There's no reason for you to be here to kill this. And that's all you're going to do. If 25 million people jump ship, sell their Pi for 10 cents, you just shot everybody that's here, including yourself. Why? That's kind of dumb to me. Well, if you don't know nothing, you're going to do dumb shit. Anyway. People don't realize the amount of power and control core is grabbing back from the system already. Don't. Because if you did, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If we as a community don't put any Pi out on the exchange, automatic demand has already been created. And if they can't, the only way to get Pi is to join it and be a Pi miner and earn it the same way the rest of us have. Big investors aren't going to do that. Big investors expect to make big investments. Make big investments and get a bunch of coin. Well, if there's not a bunch of coin that they can big invest in, and what are they investing in? Okay. Because if it's played right, trading volume is trading volume. I don't care what those investors do. They still don't have the power they're looking for in here. The only way an investor can get the power they're looking for and the control they're looking for is if we give it to them. They've been doing it for many hundreds of years. And we've just been going along the line with it because there's nothing we can do about it. And we're being told what we can and can't do. And it keeps getting, man, if they cut bank balances down to $600 and you agree with it, may as well sell the rest of the farm, man. It went from, I forget when, but way back when, before terrorists, I think it was like 100 grand, or there may not even been a limit on it on a transaction you could make. I think somewhere the first started out at 100 grand way back when. Then terrorists came around, and then they dropped to 10 grand, and now they're going to drop it to 600. Well, you don't see the progression of that. At one time, we were free to do whatever we wanted with whatever amount of money we wanted to do it with. If you had $1 million, government didn't track it. We're down to 10 grand. You make a transaction over 10 grand, it's all reported and tracked. Now it's going to go down to 600. You ain't going to be able to afford it then. Yeah. And to freely give it. And that's the government that you trust to back the money we use and have a hard time seeing what's going on. PI is not looking to overtake anybody or put anybody out of where they're looking to be an alternative to what we already have. There are no alternatives out there. No. Because we won't let it. PI is looking to be an alternative to be out there. Outside of that restriction. Yeah. PI, I know you don't, whatever. But anyway, if we don't put any PI out on the market, it will, whatever value we've set to start with in here, supporting it, that can be, it's there. Eventually, if we don't put any PI out there, it won't take long. It won't take long for if I don't sell my PI until I find a buyer, let's put it that way. I don't sell my PI until I find a buyer that's willing to pay my price for it. That's what exchange price is. How it can't be anything but. What the speculators, yes, all the numbers are official. They're out transparent. You can see them. But speculators are speculating on trading exchange volume. If there is no trading exchange volume on the exchange, they can't speculate. I don't care what numbers they got. They can't speculate because there's no volume of trading. You want to pay my price for my PI. I will sell it to you. It's the only way I will sell it to you. My price for selling PI is what PI value is in here. Because then you have true value over the currency. And well on its way to being currency. Okay. And we're not being dictated by exchanges. And I don't care whether you tell me that ain't how it works. Okay, you tell me that. Tell me that all the way you want. Yeah. The only way it won't work is if you don't help make it work. Yeah. That's the only way it won't work. Yeah. They can't buy something that they can't get. And if they can't buy something they want, watch what happens. Watch it in an auction, man. You get two people going after the same item, that item gets way overpriced. PI value, whatever, isn't overpriced. It's matching, starting out, the same. That's true value. Yes. That's true. Because it has the same buying power as it does buying and selling. And as long as we maintain the amount of PI on the exchanges, we control supply and demand. Supply and demand doesn't come from here. Well, it comes from here, but it comes from what we put out there. Well, it don't work that way. Don't work that. What do you mean it don't work that? You can't trade something that isn't out there, man. How can? All right, you can't do it. You can't do it. Okay. If you want to buy a glass of water and I ain't going to say, no, I'm not selling you my water. You're not getting a glass of water. Okay. I know. I'm going to say this and I'm going to shut up. We have become so conditioned. We have become so controlled. We ain't much better than the herd of sheep I got out in the pasture out there. No. Because sheep are stupid, man. Because we just go with what they're saying. Who says and where is it written, and written by who, that we can't do that? Because it's the norm. Everything else has done it. Everybody, this is textbook, this is, okay? Pi does not need to reinvent the wheel that's already been invented many times and done the same thing many times. Some have survived, some haven't. Pi doesn't need to put itself in that position. We don't need to put Pi in that position. Ever. There is no reason for Pi to be in that position. And if you can't see it by now, man, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, setting Pi value, setting a currency, buying power value, that's how that works. And it's just a starting value. It's just something to be able to put out. Why it needs to be where the level of it is because everybody, if you read the white paper, Pi is supposed to be the most inclusive, reachable to everyone currency. Usable. Okay? Well, if we follow your path in your direction, half the community won't be able to do anything with their Pi. I bet you at that point, when they go, they can't realize if they can trade it and do whatever, or the fees are involved in doing what the little bit they got. I bet you they'll throw their shit in them wherever and leave. Yeah. Yeah. You can see the pioneer count goes down real quick. Yeah. Following the path that you're saying that we should take. And I'm telling you, that's a bad path to take, man. That ain't the path Pi is even considered taking from jump. That has never been the path Pi is looking to take. I'm telling you, there's a different way that we can take our control back and quit being fucking sheep. Yeah. Yeah. And if being a rebel, pushing evil, I have no problem pushing rules and guidelines and what that has been imposed on me for 60 years to get out from underneath them. Yeah. Man. Anyway, I know I talked way longer than I was looking to address PARIDESHRPOUGEL about 5-minute videos. Man, if I could get down to 30 minutes, I would be happy. But when I get going, and I was trying to keep this one short, and I'm 2 hours again. When I get a thought going on or whatever it is, and I know I jump around a lot, but I can't start and stop. I just go straight through. And I don't have the equipment or the skills to edit my stuff down to where they're 30-minute chunks. Okay? I wish I could, but I don't. And I've had many people, probably 3, 4, 5 people bail on me that I was willing to pay to help me do editing, to get things down. I was even willing to, because they were doing the editing, if we monetized it, I was willing to share whatever income would come in from them. And everybody's failed. So this is what you're stuck with till I get to a point where I can either edit it or do whatever, or get to a point where I can close them down in 30 minutes. I will never get to a 5-minute video. I don't even know if I've posted. I think I may have posted it. Maybe, I don't know. I have to round it up. I did one video. I don't care about following. I don't care how many people I get. I don't care how many likes or dislikes or whatever I get. I don't care. It's not important to me. My life does not live by whether you like what I'm doing or not. Whether you want to subscribe to my channel or whatever. Man, I come from a different place, different era, different space, different whatever. No matter what, if you have something good to say, yeah, I'll take the kudos. If you have something bad to say, oh man, you're gonna hurt me, you're gonna ruin my life if you say something bad about me. Not even close. No. You know, there are ways to deal with it online. You block it, you do whatever, you ready? Okay? I don't pay you no mind. Because back in the day, it was face-to-face deal, man. Okay? If you had something that you wanted to say or had something to say to somebody, you manned up and you said it. It could get you knocked out, but you said it. Face-to-face. Over a screen, it's a joke, man. Okay? I mean, that's a whole different topic. But, I mean, to be that sensitive, that if somebody doesn't like something you do online, or because you don't live up to some social norm online, your life is a wreck. You don't know how to function or what to do. I'm glad I won't be here much longer. Because going that direction, man, you know, how have we become so soft overall? How have we... And I can't say that I wasn't part of that group for a while or whatever it was. Okay. When my ex got to where I didn't care for it anymore, she became an ex. Okay. Okay. Politically correct. You need to thicken up, man. You need to thicken up. Grow some thick skin. Deal with it and get over it. Move on. Because where we are now, where I was growing up, watch All in the Family one night. Or the Jeffersons. Yeah. That was the time. It was normal. I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying we didn't need to make some changes. But the changes we've made, I think we've gone a little too far. Yeah, I really do. Because we thought that shit was funny. It was funny. It was the time, that's what was going on. So that's now, every group and every whatever being so far down your throat and they'd be jumping on you online and it would just wreck your life online. I don't care. I don't care. So, my videos will never be 5 minutes to try to gain. No. I'm shooting for 30 to 45 would be nice. If I can get down to 30 minutes, that'd be cool. Okay? But when I get a thought, until it runs its course, it is what it is. And there's a lot of information that, I mean, when I get to putting out a video, a lot of it is just off the cuff. What I know, what I see, what I think needs to be put out. That's how I do it. Okay? And I do try to watch the clock, and if I'm halfway or middle in the thought, and I'm whatever time it is into the video, it just keeps going until I finish. So, anyway, I will try to shorten them up, and we'll see how it goes. Man, think, guys. We're getting short. We are getting short. And it comes down to us. And when I hear people, and I know I'm going to say this, when I hear people talking, how they believe and direction that they think pie should take, if we go that direction, we will never gain value back. We will never gain it back. When you give up real estate in anything, if you give up real estate, you will never get it back. Especially when you're dealing with money, greed, emotion, all that, okay? if you give up real estate, people, when you're dealing with people, and you set boundaries and you give up real estate, you will never get it back. And for where pie, I believe, needs to be usable by everyone, and where I hear you say the direction pie should go, we will never make that real estate back up. And the issue that I have with it, not that it went there, it's by following your direction, doing what you say it should do, going that direction takes money out of my pocket, takes money out of your pocket, takes money out of everybody's pocket. It may be a different money, but it's taking money out. And I don't like when people start taking money out of my pocket when that's something we're trying to change. The government and middle bank or central bank and all that stuff it's been doing it to me for years. Yeah. Man, when I looked at the sales tax in California, 9.23%. About it. Thumped right there in the middle of the restaurant. I didn't even know it would have been voted on to change to go to 9.23%. Last I remember was like 8.75 or 8.25 or something like that. That was the last that I remember checking the sales tax. That's about 9.23%. That's fucking nuts. 10% sales tax. And they've driven the value of the dollar down to where it's probably worth a quarter. And these are all things that I don't understand. Okay? Because core, pie, the project, the whole structure is giving us an opportunity. It's giving us an opportunity to change, at least to change it for us, to get out from underneath some of that shit. And when say that the path we need to follow is the same path we're on, no. And you're fighting to make it go that way, and not hearing what I'm saying or respecting what I'm saying. And I'm fighting with you. No, we don't need to go that way. And I'm losing respect and whatever it is for you. It's not a good way to go into a community. We need to hear and listen to each other, talk to each other. And I have never said any information that you're putting out does not work for the crypto space. Does not work because I would be following your advice if it were any other project. I would. I'd be following a lot of people's advice if it weren't for any other project. Because the advice you're giving and the direction is sound for any other project. But when you sit down and you pencil, sometimes I have to sit down and I have to pencil it out to see it. If we set the value, we know that's buying power value at that point in time, and it will change over time as the market does its thing. I'm not arguing that, but I don't believe it'll go down much. It'll do a steady climb up. Okay. So if we're at a value in here that we've agreed on it, and we don't even have to agree on it. People selling goods have to agree and accept it. That's all. The rest of us don't matter. It's up to them. It really is up to them. Okay? And if we know that that's what the power that we can buy, and we're going to give that power up to some speculator, because that's all exchanges are, speculation. And we're going to live our life that way. I guess this is where I have the issue. Because I know you're smart. I know you're smart. There's not a doubt in my mind. Not a doubt in my mind that you're not smart. Except for this area. Because you're even willing to give up buying power value for exchange trading price and allowing them to dictate it. Yeah, grow, I don't want to keep beating on this. You need to grow some balls, man. You need to grow some balls and stand up and buck what you're doing. Because all you're doing is giving our money away, your money away, my money away. Everybody's chasing the money. Everybody's chasing the money. But they're willing to give the money up to get pennies. Anyway, I talked too long enough. Probably going, yeah. So anyway, I'm out. Have a good, guys.